All right, let's jump right into it. Ever wondered what really separates a good story from a truly great one? Well, a lot of the time, it comes down to one of the most powerful, but maybe one of the most misunderstood parts of a script, the midpoint. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there as writers. You have this amazing beginning, you know exactly how it's going to end, but that huge space in the middle, that second act, it just kind of falls flat. It gets baggy, loses steam, and all that great tension you build up just fizzles out. It's a classic problem, but the fix isn't some big mystery. It's a structural tool that's sitting right there at the heart of every great story. And the answer is a powerful midpoint. And no, we are not just talking about whatever happens to land on page 60 of your script. The midpoint is so much more than that. It's the story's true structural heart. It's the center of gravity that literally everything else orbits around. And it has three jobs that are absolutely crucial. First up, and this one's a biggie, the midpoint is all about your character. It is the moment where everything changes for your protagonist on a really deep, fundamental level. I mean, just look at this image. You can feel the intensity, right? The desperation. The midpoint is that moment where your hero is pushed to their absolute limit. They've been backed into a corner, and they are forced to take their most desperate action. Up until now, they've been dodging and weaving, just reacting. But now, they have to do something big. And this is where the magic happens. Before the midpoint, the character is basically a pinball, bouncing off events. They're passive, reactive. But after this one critical moment, it's like a switch flips. They become active, proactive. Think about Luke Skywalker. Before Alderaan is destroyed, he's kind of just along for the ride. After, he sees what's at stake, and he fully commits to taking down the Empire. He's not just reacting anymore, he's driving the story forward. That shift, that's the engine for the whole second half. Okay, so the character's transformed. Awesome. But the midpoint is not done yet. Its second huge function is to act as the structural backbone for your entire story. And yeah, on a very practical level, it is the literal center. In a typical 120-scene script, you're going to find this big event happening right around scene 60. But its role is so much bigger than just being a number on a page. It's better to think of it as a central axis. Imagine a powerful magnet right in the middle of your story, and it's pulling on scene 1 and the final scene at the exact same time. What does that do? It creates this constant, taut tension that gets rid of that dreaded, soggy middle and keeps the whole narrative feeling tight and focused from start to finish. So we've covered character, we've covered structure. Now let's talk about the midpoint's third, and maybe its most clever, function. Its role as the rudder that steers the audience right toward the story's core theme. The midpoint is where your story's theme really comes into focus. The stuff that happens here, it sends this subtle, unconscious signal to the audience about what this story is really all about. It's like the story is showing its cards, and that builds a ton of trust. It tells the audience, hey, don't worry, we've got a plan. We know where this is going. And it gives them the confidence to stick around for the second half of the ride. So here's the crucial part. Seeing how these three things, character, structure, and theme, all lock together. They aren't separate jobs. They are three sides of the same powerful moment. And that brings us to a really fantastic analogy. The midpoint is like the story's waist. Just think about that for a second. The waist connects our upper body and our lower body, right? It's our center point, the thing that coordinates all of our movement. You need a strong core for balance and power, and believe it or not, it is the exact same for a story. So if we stick with that waist analogy, you can see it has this really cool dual role. First, it acts as a kind of summary, a moment that ties together everything that's happened in the first half. And second, it's a launch pad. It provides all the momentum and confidence the story needs to blast off into the second half. It looks backward and forward at the exact same time. So when you put all of that together, you see it. The midpoint isn't just a scene in the middle. It is the single most critical point for coordinating your story's entire flow, its character arc, its structural tension, and its thematic message. It really is the key to a powerful, tight, and super satisfying story. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Pick your favorite movie. The one you could watch over and over. Can you pinpoint it? Can you find that exact moment where the hero stops reacting and starts acting? The moment the entire story pivots on a dime? That's its heart. That's its waist. That's the midpoint.